Did Big Daddy Jeff Bezos really nearly kill Katy Perry and his own fiancée, Lauren Sánchez, with this space rocket? Yep, you heard that right. By now, you've probably seen the headlines about Jeff Bezos launching an all-female celebrity crew, including pop superstar Katy Perry and his own fiancée, Lauren Sánchez, into space aboard a Blue Origin rocket. Sounds cool, right? But what if I told you this feel-good moment nearly turned into a Hollywood-level disaster? Just picture this. It's a sunny morning on April 14th, 2025 in West Texas, and Jeff Bezos, billionaire and Amazon founder, is smiling like he just discovered free shipping. Standing next to him are 6 excited women, all moaning and, you know what, decked out in costume Blue Origin flight suits, about to get on a rocket shaped, let's be real, like a giant eggplant emoji or the thing in between your legs. Among these women are Jeff Bezos' fiancée, Lauren Sánchez, pop sensation Katy Perry, TV legend Gayle King, aerospace engineer Aisha Bao, activist Amanda Noor, and film producer Kirana Film. The plan was real simple. Blast these ladies to space for about 11 minutes of weightlessness, let them gaze at the planet, and bring them back safe and sound. Bezos himself called it a life-changing experience, and even Katy Perry joked about finding her inner divine feminine. Sounds harmless, right? But let's be honest, this flight wasn't exactly about advancing humanity or even science. It felt more like a pricey joyride for rich celebrities, and that's exactly where things start getting dicey. First, let's talk about the setup. Blue Origin's rocket is called New Shepard, fully automated with no pilots. Yep, no pilots. Imagine jumping on a plane without anyone in the cockpit. Would you feel safe? Probably not. Yet, that's exactly what these ladies did. From the ground, everything seemed fine at first. Jeff Bezos gave a charming little speech about how excited he was and sent the capsule skyward with a thumbs up. But here is the kicker. This thing reached 66 miles above Earth, just barely scraping the boundary of space, also known as the Kármán line. So, for a few minutes, everybody inside experienced that famous floating in space moment, and Katy Perry even sang a line from What a Wonderful World. Sounds magical, right? But while they were busy enjoying zero gravity, thousands of people back on Earth were losing their minds, calling out the absurdity of the situation. Online, folks quickly began roasting Bezos like a chicken on a skewer in a hot charcoal fire, pointing out how wasteful it was to send a bunch of celebs on a joyride when there are real problems like poverty, climate change, and skyrocketing egg prices back home. One comment on Reddit said it the best. Great, Jeff sent his fiancée and Katy Perry on a multi-million-dollar roller coaster while people can't even buy eggs. Ouch. Then out of nowhere, celebrity Olivia Munn dropped a bombshell live on television. While guest hosting NBC's Today, she straight up called the flight glutinous and compared it to a trip to Six Flags. She questioned why Bezos had to announce every detail of the flight, saying if it was really just about inspiration, maybe don't blast it everywhere. Suddenly, the conversation shifted from a feel-good woman's empowerment moment to a debate about billionaire ego trips and empty gestures. Even more bonkers, people started asking some serious questions, like why exactly was Katy Perry, known for catchy pop songs and elaborate outfits, invited on a space flight in the first place? Was she secretly an astronaut in her downtime? Nope, it seemed more about getting clicks and attention than anything meaningful. But here is where things get seriously scary. As the capsule started its descent, the tension ramped up. Remember, this rocket is automated. If anything goes wrong, well, boom, let's just say, you can't exactly call AAA from space. For a few tense moments, communication seemed sketchy and viewers on live streams held their breath. Imagine being Jeff Bezos, knowing your fiancé is plummeting back to Earth inside a metal pod that has no pilot, one glitch, and you're suddenly in the biggest PR disaster of all time, and you'll have to find yourself next wife. Maybe that was his plan all along. Miss Sánchez is too old and ugly for rich daddy Bezos, to be honest. He deserves a fresh young meat. Thankfully, or not thankfully to Big Daddy Bezos, the capsule deployed his parachutes and landed safely back in the desert. But the drama wasn't over yet. As soon as they landed, Katy Perry and Gayle King used their big fat lips and kissed the ground dramatically, visibly relieved to be back on Earth. Perry called the flight the highest high, like she was smoking a spliff, while Lauren Sánchez joked through tears about having to return because, you know, she's got a wedding coming up, which, to be honest, most of us couldn't give a damn. Cute, right? But also terrifyingly close to become a news story no one would ever forget. Immediately after landing, skeptics on Twitter exploded again like a nuclear bomb just dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Some claimed the whole thing was staged or exaggerated for PR. Conspiracy theorists even chimed in, questioning if the flight even happened at all, asking for more interior footage. Others mocked Bezos mercilessly, saying stuff like he shot his fiancée into space for 11 minutes just to get rid of her saggy old ass, at least temporarily. And let's talk numbers for a second. Although Blue Origin won't disclose exactly how much this flight cost, industry experts estimate similar trips can run around $500,000 per seat. That means Bezos easily spent a few $1,000,000 on this 11-minute joyride. To many watching at home, that felt like an insult. It was hard not to wonder, was this really about woman empowerment or just rich people showing off? Historically, sending women into space has been genuinely groundbreaking. Back in 1963, Soviet cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova made history as the first woman in space, and recently, NASA's first all-female spacewalk in 2019 was rightly celebrated as a huge step for gender equality. But unlike those inspiring milestones, the Blue Origin trip felt like a publicity stunt, glitzy, celebrity-filled, and strangely pointless. Even NASA faced backlash in the past when it seemed overly focused on diversity rather than mission effectiveness, with political figures arguing against woke agendas. Bezos' Blue Origin faced similar criticism. People wondered if filling the rocket with celebs actually advanced women in STEM or just made for flashy headlines. Too many, he screamed of tokenism. What's worse, Jeff Bezos himself seemed blissfully unaware, or maybe just couldn't give a damn how much he was taking online. After all, for someone worth billions of dollars, a few $1,000,000 and some internet backlash might just seem like a pocket change and white noise. But that brings us to the main point. Did Bezos really risk Katy Perry, Lauren Sánchez, and the crew's lives just for publicity? Well, technically yes, he just did. Space travel is always risky. NASA astronauts spend years training for these moments. Yet here was Blue Origin casually loading up celebrities into an automated capsule with no real pilots, no control systems they could manage, and launching them like it was just another Tuesday. This mission clearly wasn't about science or exploration, at least not much. It was about clicks, headlines, and making Daddy Jeff Bezos look real good. But at what cost? What if one tiny teeny thing had gone absolutely wrong? Imagine the headlines today if something disastrous had happened. Bezos nearly turned a vanity project into one of the most tragic stories imaginable. Or Bezos gets rid of former ugly wife and 5 other retards to find himself a new one. This brings up another big question. Should billionaires like Jeff Bezos be allowed to take such massive risks just for fun or PR? Who checks if the rockets are safe enough for casual celeb passengers? Shouldn't there be stricter regulations? Look, at the end of the day, we're all glad these women returned safely. The moment where Katy Perry sank from space was genuinely heartwarming, whatever you think of it. But let's not forget the risk and the controversy. This wasn't just another rocket launch, it was a gamble with people's lives to sell a billionaire's fantasy. And for the skeptics online roasting Bezos like a chicken on a skewer on a charcoal hot barbecue, if that made any sense, maybe they have a point, or maybe they don't, they just like to ramble. If billionaires truly wanted to empower women or solve global issues, maybe they should spend more time in the kitchen and wash the dishes, or start spending those millions right here on Earth, and buy more private islands like Epstein and Diddy to indulge in some naughty stuff. You know what I'm talking about. After all, inspiration doesn't just come from space, it comes from making real changes in the lives of people who need it the most. So what do you personally think? Was this Blue Origin flight a genuine milestone for women, or just another ego-driven billionaire stunt that almost ended badly? If you found this story wild, smash that subscribe button for more stupid brain rot content like this one. Enjoy milking your meat. Cow out.